Hey everybody, welcome back to the Calibrate Tools and DIY channel. Glad you guys could join me tonight. Come on in and say hi in the chat. Let me know you're here. And if it's your first time on the channel, hey, why don't you consider subscribing? We got some good content on here. We got tutorials, we got spotlights. We do lives. We talk about different subjects, usually surrounding the trades, DIY, home improvement, all that stuff, tools. It's a tool channel, guy. I'm a tool lover. And if you're a tool lover, come on in here and let me know. Okay. Let me slap hands with you. If you're reading the title, guys, hope it piqued your interest, right? Because it was very interesting for me to think about today. I had some insights today, and I'd like to share them with you. I'm not going to be on the live too long today, but let's talk about it. The price of being too comfortable. All right. Now, what does that mean, guys? Yes, Perry Good Life Notes. How you doing? Perry Good Life Notes. Yes, I started already. Come on in the chat and say hi, guys. Say hi. The price of being too comfortable, guys. What does that mean? Well, that can apply to a lot of things in life. But today I was talking to a friend about this subject, and I had some insights about that. I was like, okay, everybody wants to be comfortable, right? Everybody wants to live for comfort, and that seems to be the goal, right? Just get rich, sit back, relax, and you don't have to worry about anything. Well, we know that's not really the way it goes. A lot of times we reach the goals that we aspire to, only to find that we're unfulfilled, and we yearn for more. Right? We yearn for more, and sometimes that yearning in us can take us in a positive direction or a negative direction, depending on our coping mechanisms with life. Because you attain some level of success does not mean you're inwardly fulfilled. Okay, you're not fulfilled in all parts of your being. Some people turn to religion. Some people turn to other means of escapism to to fill those empty areas that they feel they have in their lives. Um, why do we feel this way, guys? Well, when we seek for comfort and comfort alone, that's the problem right there. Me personally, I don't think we should seek comfort by itself. We should seek fulfillment, and that's not an end game. Let me explain. Um, my philosophy on things is that nothing really ends, right? Um, but the process to get to where you want to be in life, that's what we should focus on instead of the just the end game, right? So if we become too comfortable in a certain area in our lives, uh, we start to deteriorate. I'll give an analogy here. Let's just say you don't go to the gym or you don't work out. You don't give your body any kind of physical exercise stimulation, get the blood flowing, get the muscles working, and all that. At some point, the body's going to start to deteriorate, right? The muscle's going to become lethargic, and you start to degenerate, right? Because you need that activity, right? If you stay in the comfort zone too long, you start to get lazy, and everything starts to go downhill from there. In other words, we need to challenge ourselves um, every so often with something new to stimulate our minds, stimulate our bodies. Because if we don't do that, then it's just not. It will be not a good turnout for you in the end, right? Um, and we can apply that we can apply that principle to many things in life. Many things in life. If you're on a job, right? Let's just say you had goals and aspirations as a kid, as a young adult, and but something in the back of your mind said, "Oh, it's so far away, I can't attain that, but I'll keep it in my head." Okay, what what in the hell is this? Well, how do you block people? Let me see here. Let me see if I can get that off of there. Yeah, I'll block that. Got some crazy stuff happening. Stuff, crazy people coming in the chat. But anyway, that's part of being on the internet. You never know, right? You put yourself out there. You got to be prepared for that stuff. So anyway, guys, like I was saying, um, if you get a job, uh, okay, let me back up here. You have aspirations and goals. Okay, all of us had aspirations, dreams, and goals when we were kids, to be something, right? We saw something out in the world and we said, "Hey, I want to be that. I want to do that." And we were so, we were so energized about being that thing, right? And then life happened, right? You grew up, you started facing different challenges in life. You're going through puberty. You may have a girlfriend, a boyfriend coming to the picture. Then you have to deal with all that relationship stuff, and you kind of lose sight of what you were looking at, in the past, that, before you had all the disturbances. Okay. And hold on a second, guys. Let me get this person out of here. Absolutely, Perigo Life Notes. Muscles start to atrophy. That's exactly the word I was looking for. Because you didn't use them, right? You ever heard the term use it or lose it? Well, that's what happens. Hold on, let me refresh this page, guys. Anyway, guys, I don't want to risk that right now because just ignore that. People in the chat that's putting some salacious stuff in my chat here, trying to get them out of here. Let me see if I can put them on timeout. If anybody's familiar with that kind of stuff happening, maybe I need to get some moderators or something to get these people out, get certain people out of there. Yeah, but Perigo Life Note hit it on the head with that term. That's the term I was looking for. The muscles start to atrophy, right? Because you don't challenge them, right? And it's like use it or lose it. I believe that's the way nature is. That's the way the universe is. And if you're a religious person, that's the way God made us, right? To use what we have, to use our minds, use our bodies, use our brains, okay? Not just for selfish reasons, but to actually contribute to the world, contribute something to the world. They say everybody. Oh, Perigo Lifeton said you don't see it. Good. I'm glad you don't see it. Yeah. Okay. I think I blocked him, but anyway, I'll ignore him from now. So yeah. So if you don't use something, the way things are designed, you're gonna lose them, right? You're gonna lose it. So if you get comfortable in life, let's just say, hey, I'm gonna back up here. You're young, you have all these dreams, then life happens. Yeah, and so you get a job because you got to pay the bills. You may have a family and all that stuff, and you lose sight of what you wanted to be before, right? And you say, okay, this job is not so bad. I can pay my bills. I make enough money to go on vacation every year for maybe a week or a couple of weeks, and you get comfortable. Time goes by, 1 year after the other. Next thing you know, you look up, it's 5 years you at this job, or maybe you switch jobs or whatever. But these jobs are paying enough for you to survive, right? To feed your family. And all of a sudden you looked up and you said, hey, I used to want to be that. What happened to that? Because it got lost in the sauce, right? You just, it because of all the responsibilities you took on and the distractions of life, you lost your true passion, whatever that is. Okay. And that's when things start to set in and say, hey, maybe I'm not that happy. Maybe I'm not as happy as I thought I was. And then that's when problems start to happen, right? Because you feel unfulfilled. You start blaming your family. You're blaming your wife, your kids. But remember, you can't blame anybody. You made those choices, right? You made those choices. And hey, all of us have done that to a certain degree, right? We got comfortable in something, whether that's a job, whether that's I don't know, whatever situation you're in, you got comfortable in it and you lost the passion. All right. Or at least it went to the back burner. You always had it there in the back of your head, nagging you, right? But you kind of ignored it because you had all these responsibilities to take care of. And like I said, the pay was good enough to keep you fed, keep your family fed, so you got comfortable. Okay. So that's one of the prices you pay, guys. You pay the price of losing your true aspirations that you had before. They were put in you for a reason, but you got comfortable. Okay. And that's what the world tends to do to us when we get too comfortable. Right. And we can, like I said, we can apply that to all kinds of situations, whether it's physical comfort, whether it's mental comfort, the comfort of a relationship. But why are you here? Do you ask yourself that question? I don't think many of us ask ourselves that question on at least on a daily, weekly basis. Why are you here? And what are you contributing to the world? Is it just to get a job and, get 9 to 5 and pay the bills and clock in, clock out? It must be a deeper reason why you exist, right? But once again, the comforts of life, right? The comforts of life take us away from even uh, thinking that deeply about our lives. And I think a lot of times when time has gone on, we don't want to think that deeply because we remember we had those dreams before, we had those goals before, we had those aspirations before, and we left them behind. We left them behind because of comfort, right? So a lot of times the dreams that we have or the goals that we have are they're very lofty, right? I want to say lofty because when you're a kid, you're not thinking about everything you have to do to get to that goal. You're just thinking about being there. You want to be that. You don't know what it takes to be there, right? And that's good, right? That's good in a sense, right? Because you're focused on the goal itself as a kid, right? Your mind's not clouded with all the problems of life that the people that come into your life to tell you, hey man, this you're gonna have to go through that. That's hard. That's hard. That's hard. You're not thinking about that's hard. You're thinking about I want to be that, right? You're not putting these mental blocks in your head when you're a kid, right? And I want to kind of get us back to the kid, the childlike state where you see that thing that you want or that you envision yourself to be without all thinking about all the things that come along with it. Just envision it, right? Daryl the finisher. Hey Daryl, how you doing? Time flies when you're comfortable. Absolutely, Daryl. Time does fly when you're comfortable. That's the point I'm trying to make. Time goes by so fast. You look up and you say, hey, man, it's been 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and I'm still here, and then like I said, if you take on more responsibility, you end up, time just keeps on flying, right? It's just next thing you know, it's 10 years, right? So, but if you don't have a vision or a goal, then all this, what I'm saying doesn't matter, right? This is really for the people that have goals and visions that they feel that they've left behind or they want to get back to. That's what this live is all about today. Okay. These are for those who never gave up in their minds of that thing they want to pursue, right? But they seem kind of lost because they have all these responsibilities. Well, I'm telling you right now, guys, you need to start now. Whatever it is that you want to do, start even on a small level. Even if you can contribute 1 hour a day to it or a couple hours a week to it, start building it now. Okay, just start building it, and then you'll see the momentum pick up. And trust me, you'll be more fulfilled, right? Don't get lost in the comfort zone. Okay. So once again, people get into this, this mode of looking at things and seeing nothing but the negative sides, the difficulties. But it's the difficulties, it's the challenges that really build character when it comes to attaining your goals. Okay. It's the challenges that really build you. Okay. Like I'm gonna give another analogy, right? It's the difficulties are the ingredients, right? Like if you're mixing concrete, you got to put the rocks, you got to put the sand, you got to put the cement, right, to make that hard, sturdy substance. Well, the challenges of life are like the same thing. Those are the ingredients that you need in order for you to build the fortitude to attain what you want to attain in life. You don't want anything handed to you on a silver platter. You'll take it for granted. XYP9X. Hey, how you doing, sir? Glad you can make it. Yeah, so you don't want it handed to you on a silver platter. Learn to look at the difficulties look at them as your friend. Okay, those are the things that build you. When you go into a gym, you don't look at the weights as the enemy. You look at the weights as your friend because they're going to provide the resistance in order to build a strong body, right? So life is like walking into a gym. Okay, that's pretty much what it is. Everything that's thrown at you, all the issues, you turn on the news, you see this, you see that, all the negative things happening in the world. Yeah, it's crazy, and it's really sad that a lot of these things happen. But at the end of the day, it's either gonna build you or it's gonna destroy you, and that's your choice. It's your choice to let whatever happened to you, or that's happening to other people you know, or that's happening in the world. How are you going to use that to motivate you? To use it as fuel to drive you into higher levels of of, uh, of your life. Okay. At the end of the day, it's all about service anyway, right? Everything we do should be about service, right? Because life is about relationships. So you can make all the money in the world, but if you don't have anybody to help or share it with, then who really cares, right? Very good life notes. Absolutely, you need adversity to pursue your dreams. Adversity is like the steam in the steam engine, or the coals in the fire, right? That creates the fire. You need adversity, right? You need those weights. Okay, you need those weights. The resistance in life to make you stronger. You need the challenges in life to make you stronger, right? May not feel good all the time, like comfort does. Comfort feels good, right? Oh, I'm comfortable. I don't have to. I made it this far. I'm making okay money, and I'm not really satisfied. I don't feel driven to do anything else. I'm going to stay here, knowing that there's more to you than just that job, okay, or that whatever situation you're in. If you know there's more to you than where you are right now, that's telling you something, right? You're not done yet. You have to challenge yourself more to reach your full potential, at least in this life. Okay. So the flip side of that is discomfort, right? Discomfort is actually good, right? Discomfort is what's going to make you change. If you're too comfortable where you are, that situation isn't painful enough for you to change. It's not painful enough for you to change. So you're going to stay there. You're going to stay there until you get out of here, right? Until you pass on. Um, yeah, I keep getting these things in my chat. I don't know if that happens to other people, but just started happening on this chat. I hope you guys don't see it, but yeah. So that's really what I want to get on tonight and talk about, guys. Is don't get too comfortable. Challenge yourself every day. The world is changing every day. Change is life. Life is change. It's happening when even when you don't see it, even when you don't think it's happening, right? And you have to be prepared for the changes that will come upon you. Technology came, and the industrial revolution, phased out, and now it's the technological era, right? And even certain portions of this is going to change. Like, we look at computers now, and it's some cutting edge new technology is coming out all the time. That shows you that the rate of change is constant, right? It's constant, and you have to be able to keep up with that, take advantage of opportunities when they arise. If you're too comfortable, you're going to be left behind, and that's just how it is, right? And if you want to tie it into what this channel is all about, is promoting trade skills. That's the brand of this channel, guys. Promoting trade skills, tool proficiency, because I want to see, especially the young people that feel that they don't have a lot of opportunity. I want to see them have skills, okay, that they don't have to go into hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt for. Okay. Very good life notes. Uncomfortable will help you look at possible new trades. Absolutely. You know, the comfort zone is the killer, guys. The comfort zone is the killer. There's nothing wrong with taking a rest and enjoying the fruits of your labor, but don't get too comfortable, guys, because, like I said, the rate of change is happening extremely rapidly. That's just the nature of life, and you have to prepare yourself in order to succeed and ride the wave. Okay, and not get sucked under because you were too comfortable. Always learn. Always learn something. Reading. When I take up a new skill, like I said, I promote trade skills on this channel, and you'll be okay. Okay, don't get left behind. I see, especially a lot of people in my community. they're not keeping pace, and they're going to be left behind. And it's sad. It's a sad thing to observe when there's so many opportunities out here for people to up their game and level up, guys. There's so many opportunities to level up, especially in the trades, guys. Okay, I just came from like I said on the last live, talked to well, I was sitting in the audience of at the local 105 sheet metal union, and listening to one of the trainers talk about what it takes to become an apprentice all the way up to a journeyman, and the opportunities that you have available to you. You know, a lot of people think, hey, blue collar work, man. No, it's not challenging. It's not stimulating. It's not, as respectable as white collar work. Well, let me tell you something. It sure beats sitting in a cubicle for 8 hours a day and being doing some tedious task all day. You do get challenged. The trades challenge you from math to science, all that stuff. You get to create, guys. We are creative beings. We are creative beings, and the skill trades allow you to exercise that part of yourself 100-fold. Trust me. Okay. So if you're a young person out there and you kind of lost, think about a skill trade, guys. Think about getting into a skill trade. I don't care what it is. It exercises your mind. Yes, you will. You say, well, I don't need this. You're in school now, and you're saying, what do I need to learn this math formula for? Why do I need to learn the Pythagorean theorem? How's that going to help me? Well, you know what? Let me tell you something. When you're out there building roofs or something like that, you're going to have to know the Pythagorean theorem, okay? You're going to have to know all that math stuff that you think is not valuable right now. So it's like I said, don't get distracted. Some of that stuff you're learning will be very useful for you, and especially in the skill trades, guys. Okay. So yeah, discomfort is good. Discomfort is not a bad thing. It wakes you up and allows you to really feel the pain of needing to change, right? Needing to level up. I don't know if you guys know that story about the frog. Let me see if I can recount that story. I may not recount it in the best way, but it was about a frog, I recall. And you put a frog in the water and you turn the heat up very slowly. It doesn't feel the heat because it's comfortable. The water is warm, but all the time you're turning up, the heat's being turned up very slowly. So the frog doesn't even feel that heat until it just kills the frog because it stayed, it was comfortable, right? It was comfortable. Well, that happens to a lot of us too. We reached a certain stage in life where that heat was being turned up the whole time, and we didn't even know it because we were too comfortable. And then we turn around and we get let go of off of a job or laid off or something like that, or something happens where we were not prepared. Because preparation, guys, is not always easy. It's uncomfortable, but it's that same discomfort that's going to prepare you for what may be coming down the pike for you, right? Because hey, you can't control if those guys on top want to lay off 50,000 people off of your job, right? But if you were prepared and you had a skill, you wouldn't be worried about it, right? You had your own thing going over here, right? And so it was just no sweat off your back. You could say, oh, well, all right, I got this going for me right here, so I'm not worried about that. Yeah. And that's where we should be, right? But you need to learn a skill. All right, L. Harris. Hey, L. Harris, how you doing, man? You got a what's that, a TV screen or something like that? You want to elaborate on that, L. Harris? You want to elaborate on that image? Yeah, guys. So that's pretty much what I want to talk about today. It's not going to be a long live. Just understand that discomfort is not bad. In some ways, we should seek discomfort, right? When things are being too comfortable, things are too comfortable, then that's probably time to start growing and learning, right? We need to grow. It's all about growth. Okay. And the more you grow, the more you know, the better things will go, because you'll be more prepared for the inevitable waves that will crash in your life. Okay. And that's for mental, physical. I'm talking about learning skills and all that stuff, but being mentally prepared is also a skill. And some of us, we got to work on that. Being prepared mentally for whatever life brings on a daily basis that we have to face. We all have our unique challenges, um, and we have to be able to handle them like champs, like pros. When you step in the ring, right? You step in the ring and you're not prepared. Guess what's gonna happen to you? Every time we wake up, we're stepping into the ring, man. So let's talk about some of the trades, guys. That are some of the myths about trades, learning a trade skill, learning a skilled trade that are out there. Okay. Number one, blue collar work isn't creative or intellectually stimulating. That's a bold faced lie. I mean, if you're in construction or any type of engineering, sheet metal work, even plumbing, right? You got to figure out how to configure all those elements so the system works properly, whatever trade that's in. That takes some sort of intellectual capacity. Okay, you can't be a not know anything and think you're going to do that kind of work. And a lot of these trades or schools or unions, they'll put you through school, and some of these classes actually count towards college credits, right? Because they're just as intellectually challenging as any other college course in some respects. Okay, I mean, you're talking about, especially today when they have software like AutoCAD, SolidWorks, and all this stuff to configure on a computer, these systems, right? That takes skill. That takes, you have to learn that. Okay, so that's a myth that blue collar work, or what's considered blue collar work, is not intellectually stimulating. It's very intellectually stimulating. It challenges you to think outside the box a lot of times to make certain things work. Because what I've learned is that when you're building things, right, there's no such thing as a straight line out there. So you got to know how to navigate things that are not straight lines when you're trying to put something straight onto a straight line. When you're building certain things, so that takes a bit of creative effort to be able to make that stuff happen. Right? It's very challenging, and we need to be challenged and stimulated. Okay. What else? Let's see what other myths they have about it. You have to follow your passion. Well, we've heard that all the time, right? Follow your passion. Follow your passion. Well, sometimes a lot of people don't even know what their passion is, right? Until they start doing something, and they say, "Hey, I like this," and then at some point they'll say, "Well, that's not really for me." For instance, I work at a nonprofit where I teach the different welding processes: TIG welding, MIG welding, flux core welding, stick welding, right? Those four main processes. When students come in, they get a chance to experience or try out each one of those processes. And it never fails that some students end up gravitating towards a certain process, and that's all they want to do. And then they plan out their careers working or using that particular process as welding processes. Some people like stick welding, right? That's all they want to do. Or flux core welding. Some people like TIG welding. You always see that stratification of students in the class towards a particular process. Okay. And they didn't know, right? They didn't know what their passion was, but they found it by immersing themselves in the work, right? Experiencing it for themselves. How are you going to know what your passion is unless you experience it, right? Unless you experience something so you can know, hey, listen, I like this, I don't like that. All right. So that whole thing about follow your passion, well, sometimes your passion will follow you. Okay, but you have to take those steps, and as far as trying different things out to see what could possibly be something you really want to do. All right. Paragould Life Notes: without blue collar trades, nothing would be working or built. Absolutely, Paragould Life Notes. A lot of people, they look down on the trades, or they see it as some kind of lowly rung on the social ladder. But Yeah, I mean, even the white collar guys, you wouldn't you wouldn't be sitting in your offices if somebody didn't build that building, right? Somebody had to build that. Somebody had to. There had to be an architect to draw up the plans. There had to be an electrician to come in there and run all the wire. Had to be a plumber to come in there and run all the plumbing. Um, had to be a general contractor to be able to say, hey, these are load bearing walls and all that stuff, and all the engineering that goes into that. So how could you even look down on that? The two go hand in hand. But I think ever since you know there was the industrial revolution where the trades were not looked down upon as much because America was just beginning to come into its own, and manufacturing and building infrastructure was the main priority. So you needed tradesmen, you needed people that knew what they were doing, you needed people that had skills, right? So that was the heyday of the trades, right? When when we had to build this country, when you have to build a nation, and you need to build the bridges, the roads, you need to put everything up. The tradesman in that era was the king, right? That was king. But then when manufacturing and everything started to phase out, and the service sector started to bloom, everything was about service. And then the businessman with the suit and tie on, the one who's able to wheel and deal, you know what I mean, without getting his hands dirty. That was the era, and that's kind of the era we're in right now, right? But we see what happened there. You outsource your manufacturing, and you see the results of that, right? You see now you're dependent. You're dependent on external factors to run your economy, right? So I don't know why it was given up that way, but it was. All right. So now the tradesman is coming back into its own because we see all these hits, these economic hits that we took, and people need skills when they're losing their jobs. You see all these things happening, like out of nowhere. You have natural disasters, you have pandemics and stuff. People losing their jobs. People need something, a skill that they can fall back on, right? And once again, you don't have to be swinging a hammer to be successful. That's not what I'm saying. But you have to understand that you can't look down on things that have pretty much sustained you through this whole journey, right? Okay. Yes, even in entertainment, Perry Good Life notes, there are trades that are necessary to complete a movie. Absolutely. I mean, you need grips, you need engineers, I mean, all of that on a movie set, right? You need electricians, you need cameramen, you need all the stuff that makes it happen in the physical world requires someone to know how to do these things, right? Uh, but for some odd reason, these people look down on, right? It's considered you're considered not as not as successful in life if you're pursuing a skilled trade, which is ridiculous because they have people that come out of academic arenas. In the trucking world, they have doctors, lawyers, all kinds of people from all backgrounds that are considered on the higher echelons of the social ladder. Some people just they became truckers, right? They want to drive a truck, and because they've seen, once they got to those heights, they've seen, hey, this is not all it's cracked up to be, right? Right? It's not all it's cracked up to be, because a lot of times they pursued it for the money. They pursued it for the money, and when you pursue things just for the money, hey, that can be an exhausting place to be in, right? Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Let's see what else we got here. What's another myth? What's another myth out there about skilled trades? Here's one more, and I'm going to end with this: dirty hard work, guys. A lot of people think trades. If you're in a trade, you're going to get dirty. It's hard work. It's not. Just, it's undesirable. Well, to some extent, that's true. I mean, you can get dirty out there, depending on what you're doing, right? But if you're building something that is going to serve yourself, it's going to serve people, I mean, imagine the people. Imagine these skyscrapers or these buildings that look magnificent out there in the world. The skill and the craftsmanship that went into these things, right? Uh, do we say that the people that build them are just dirty tradesmen? No, we say they're skilled. They were skilled craftsmen who knew their trade, right? Who knew their stuff, and they produced in the physical world. They produced something that's magnificent and something to be admired. Okay, and when you're out there doing that, building things, creating things, you don't think about the dirt. Okay, you don't think about the hard work because you're actually building something. When you're building something out there, it's the feelings. I would say you can't really describe it because because we as human beings, I think, we were made to build. We were made to create. Okay, and in different forms, you can say, okay, women create this, men create that. Hey, they got some really skilled women out there that can build just as good. Okay, so guys, I just want to come on here and say, hey, listen, don't get caught in the comfort zone. Don't get caught in the comfort zone and let things fly by. Okay, you got skills out there that are in you, and all you got to do is tap into them. And learning the skill trade is one of the best ways to bring that out. And there are a lot of opportunities out there, a lot of programs out there. A lot of the unions have programs that can bring you in. You just got to pass, the preliminary tests, and hey, you got a career on your hands, and you got to wait to, hey, you can really have a decent life. Okay, you really have a decent life, and you can even go start your own business if you like with these skills. So, hey, thanks for coming on in, Paragould Life Notes, L. Harris, who else? XP9X, and I know, am I missing one? Daryl, the finisher. I really appreciate you guys coming on in and listen to what I got to say, and hope you got something out of it. So, guys, take care, and you have a good one.